Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1000 Gurus with me, your host, J.R. Yonocruz. Today's guest is Koaga. Koaga is a K-pop artist, dancer, choreographer, and English teacher who works with Universal Music. This was such a fun interview, as Koaga is a rare guest who I quite literally did not know before this recording started. We actually just briefly met 10 minutes before we went into the studio when we met up at Starbucks to go over how the show works and overall topics, but he was such a chill guy and fun to talk to, and he's super humble and grateful. We chat about his background, adjusting to different cultures when moving to the States when he was in elementary school, then back to Korea for high school, and then back to California for several years during college and afterwards, and since then he has been back in Korea. We also chat about his journey becoming a K-pop artist, a dancer, singer, and rapper, and importantly, the 2 car accidents that he was in that shifted his perspective on life and ultimately brought him closer to his faith. So without further ado, hope you enjoyed this episode with Koaga. Hello and welcome back to 1000 Gurus. Please welcome my guest, Koaga. Thanks for being here.
Sir.
I appreciate it. Cool. So let me just go into how I know you, because we actually just met today.
Right, like 5 minutes
We're
ago.
like 5 minutes ago, which is cool. So just some context. So Koaga and I, we used to actually teach at the same K-pop studio in Buena Park maybe like 6-7 years ago, maybe longer.
Like 2018, 2019.
Exactly, around that time. And so we had taught the same studio, but we never met.
We haven't met.
We never met, and we have a lot of mutuals. So Hao, who was just on the show as well, episode like 56, she referred me to reach out to you because you were coming back.
Thanks to Hao.
Yeah, so shout out to Hao. And I was like, that'd be great. A lot of my guests are my friends or acquaintances, but it is always fun to have people who I like never met. Because like I was telling you off camera, it's always nice because I'm genuinely curious about everything about you.
That's what you said
Right?
when we met like 5 minutes ago in Starbucks.
Exactly. So it'll be fun for me. And so again, context, we were both teachers. We never really met. We have some mutual friends. And so you've been living in South Korea for a little bit now, but you also grew up here, right?
Yes. So I was in Korea for about 10 years now, but I was born in Korea, but I came to the States when I was 9 years old, stayed for about 6 years, and then went back to Korea in middle school and high school days. Then I came back during my college days. So kind of complicated because of my dad's work. But yeah, I've been back and forth from South Korea and the States. I still love the place here, the US. I love the vibe, the weather, the beach, and shopping. Ross.
Yes.
The Ross boss right
It's
here.
the Ross boss. We like it. Yeah, and you're my first K-pop artist on the show, so I'm grateful to have you. We've had DJs, musicians, we've had Vietnamese, English artists, EDM, and so it's nice to have a K-pop artist here, and as you know, a fellow K-pop dancer as well. I think most of my guests I know through dance, and usually they're dancers, or I know them like they're my students or whatever. So it's also nice to have you to get your perspective on this.
I love to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks to
yeah,
JR.
yeah, of course. So you've been here for a little bit now, just visiting, right? So what are you up to? What are your plans?
I literally came to LA about a week ago with my girlfriend, and it's her second time. I just want to show what's LA about because she doesn't know anything about LA. And yeah, I'll be here for about a month. And I'll be going back to Korea to continue to pursue music as my career and teach ABCs to little kids because they don't know ABCs. So yeah, just going to South Korea again, and yeah, love to be here.
Yeah. What are your guys' plans? Any fun things scheduled?
We went to Joshua Tree about 2 days ago. Loved the vibe. The stars and the moon was so bright. There were like none of them, no lights at all, but it was so bright because of the stars and the moon. So that's what's good about Joshua Tree. And Cabazon outlet. We bought some from Coach.
Nice.
Yeah. So Huntington Beach and Long Beach. Just the nature.
What are your favorite things about SoCal?
I love the palm trees. While I drive, I can see the palm trees left and right. The breeze, the cool breeze during the fall and the winter, some in the summer. And there are so many creative artists in Hollywood, especially in North Hollywood, Burbank, Glendale, Koreatown. There's a lot of things and places and people who you can learn from and get inspired from. So I guess that helped me to be who I am as of now. My Instagram used to be Chiwon from Cali.
Ah,
My Korean name and from Cali.
yeah,
The term from Cali was like a term for me to actually be confident.
that's dope.
Yeah.
As usual, we go into our guests origin story, backgrounds, career aspirations. So you kind of already alluded to it a bit, but what is your background? Meaning, like, where did you grow up? What were
Mm,
your main inspirations?
mm.
And then how did you map out your life trajectory? What did you aspire when you were younger?
Cool, cool. To make it short, I had to come to the States because of my dad's work, because my dad's a missionary. So I had to come. And when I came to the States when I was 9 years old, I used to watch and listen to hip hop artists like 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, G Unit, and Missy Elliott, those kind of artists, and God inspired me through my elementary days. So I stayed in the States for about 5 years from when I was 9 years old. So when I became 14, I went to Korea, and I was the only one Korean guy who was wearing Echo United Sean John with Cortez on the feet.
Yeah.
So I was the only guy. So I grew up in hip hop culture, black culture, and then guess who I am now? An artist who pursue hip hop and R&B.
So then you were here for a little bit, went back to South Korea. Could you walk us through from that point in time? You went back to Korea and you were immersed in hip hop culture. So then from there until where you are now, how did that trajectory?
So I went to South Korea when I was 14. I stayed there until 19. And then I came back to the US when I was 20 to study, to continue on studying through my university days. So I stayed here for about 9 more years in the States. That's when I taught K-pop choreography in K-pop Academy. And that's where I met Hao and Marco and Amber and other students who actually want to learn Korean choreography.
So you came back to study and then you were also teaching and whatnot. How did you find yourself back in South Korea? And then I guess when I bring it back, you're as a K-pop artist. Where did that come from and when did that start?
Well, I had to go back to South Korea because one company, like a small entertainment, wanted me to actually sign with them. So I was like considering it for about several months, but I actually said yes. So I went back to Korea to actually just pursue music, nothing at all. I sold my car, closed my bank accounts, and then I went back to Korea and then performed a little bit, released some music. I had to maintain my financial status, so I had to teach English to elementary school kids, to middle school kids, grammar, reading, speaking, and writing. And then when I was teaching, I met a beautiful lady, and then I really want to get kind of married nowadays. I'm 34 right now.
What made you want to be like a musical artist? Was that when you were younger? Did something happen that you're like, oh, I want to pursue music as a career? Or did you have another career before that that you wanted to go for?
I was studying Christian education, and I actually didn't have a firm future for me to actually what to do. But while I was studying Christian education, someone just led me their acoustic guitar. So I started learning how to play the guitar when I was like 23. I was kind of like late, but then while I was playing the acoustic guitar, I found myself love singing. So I decided to be an artist, wanted to be a singer. The acoustic guitar actually led me here to be an artist. Honestly, I really love the sound of the hip hop music, but I actually couldn't like sing and rap the lyrics that I hear because I couldn't live through the life of the artist that I hear. So I actually wanted to switch up the lyrics of my life so that I can still pursue hip hop, but like the lyrics will be kind of from my background. So from that area, I became an artist who sing Korean music with my own background. Yeah.
Background experiences, your perspective. I think that's what art, music, and especially hip hop is about, is like the self-expression as a medium from the culture that came before that, as opposed to trying to rap about something you don't know about.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. That's not what it's about. So you started off as a musician technically, and then you learned singing and then dancing after that, or how did that work?
I danced first. I started dancing when I was 14 because when I was 14, I went back to Korea from the States and I had no friends. So my dad wanted me to like exercise because I was getting fat. Because I was after school, I was just home, just being alone. And my dad wanted me to do taekwondo or komdo to get me exercise, but I didn't want to. But there was like this hip hop jazz academy right next to our neighbors. So he offered it to me and I was like, okay. And then I started dancing because of my dad's suggestions. I've been dancing for about 20 years now.
What style, what type of choreography, and maybe what artist you were inspired by?
I started popping.
Okay.
I started popping, and then while I was learning popping, I learned Korean choreography, like K-pop choreography, K-pop dance. And while I was doing it, I started learning how to do hip hop. I still love popping, hip hop, and K-pop
Yeah,
choreography. So all of them, I still do it now.
it's funny because we're the same age, and I also started with popping as well, and then eventually got into K-pop too. So I want to ask, since we're same generation era, favorite artists that you start off with,
Oh my
biggest
goodness.
influences.
Well, back in the days, I really loved 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, Missy Elliott, Alicia Keys.
Classics.
Yeah, the classics. That's all I can think of right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. What about choreographies? I don't know if you were you into K-pop back then when you started dancing, like artists.
I wasn't into
Yeah,
K-pop
yeah.
choreography. I still sing it. I don't actually make choreography in Korea, but I used to teach choreographies in hip hop choreography and K-pop choreography. Still do it.
So you started dancing first, then you learned an instrument. How did you learn singing and rapping? Like, how did you develop that skill?
I just started to record myself through my phone since I didn't have the gear for me to spend time to record through dynamic microphones.
Mm.
I used to record it through my phone and hear it by myself, and I really didn't like it. So I just try to copy artists that I really want to be, like Korean artists like Zion T, Crush, J Park. I used to copy those vocal lines and the texture of their voices.
Okay.
That's how I started dancing too. I used to copy my dance teachers and
Right.
all the artists.
I feel like that's how most of us start, right? Is we're just trying to imitate what we like, and then after that, we develop technique, foundation. So, did you have any mentors, or did you like learn in a formal capacity aside from just informally learning yourself?
Thankfully, I had three producers that supported me. So their name is Benny, Papi, and Brandon Jung. Those three producers supported me to try this, try to cover one of the songs from Crush or Zion T, and I tried, and they helped me record it and then adjusted how I should sing. So thanks to all those producers that helped me to be here.
It's crazy because to be an artist, you have to be good at what you do. And to hear that you're kind of self trained and then you got some help with
Mm.
how to level up your skill, a lot of respect because that's not easy to do, especially compared to artists who maybe they've trained their whole lives since they were kids on how to sing, how to dance, how to whatever. So I'm sure it's tough. Of
Self-taught too, self-trained, but as you become an artist, you need people to back you up,
course.
support you, guide you. Like I honestly think that you can't do it by yourself, but you
Yeah.
can't do it by yourself.
Of course. It's like the idea of being self made. No one is self made. Everyone has people supporting, guiding them, mentoring them. So I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, because you get like sponsored, invested
Yeah.
financially. You need a lot of people to actually support you to become a person who you are of now.
Definitely. So I know we're kind of talking about your career. What is your motivation
Mm.
for wanting to do what you do? And then two, what is the long term vision for your career? Like where do you want to end up?
What motivates me is what happened through my life and what I've learned from it. Because I can still pursue music and make beats and record it, but like the core reason why I'm doing it is really important for me. Because to answer the question kind of more thoroughly, I had two car accidents that I was in. One was in 2009 and 2016, and one in 2009. Two people actually died right in front of me in the car accident, and one that was occurred in 2016. I almost died because my skull was cracked. But like the outcome of that life is really precious and grateful because when you live through it, you sometimes forget what life is and how precious it is. But I've experienced like twice. So because of the thankfulness and the gratefulness that I've learned from it, I what I do is to sing. So I still make music that I'm really thankful from God. And I still share what I've experienced. That's what I love to do as of now. So that motivates me as a musician and artist, as a person who I am, to give positive vibes and just good vibes, to be thankful because life is short.
I want to ask, what was that recovery like for those two car accidents?
Mm.
And I think you mentioned already how you've changed, but I also want to ask, how are you different from before the accidents and then afterwards?
The music that I used to write was really secular. What stimulates me and what I really wanted back then. But as of now, I write lyrics more through the Bible, through what I lived through, because I currently turned away from secular music towards Christian music. I kind of write lyrics through the Bible and what I'm thankful of rather than just what I want. I'll have about three more songs coming out. And if you guys hear it, the lyrics will be way different from the past.
I'm curious. So between the two accidents, you said 2009 and 2016.
16.
I guess so. I could get that before it was secular, and then after those accidents, you have this shift, and now you know what motivates you, what's important to you. What about in between the 2009 2016? Was it after the first accident you were like that, or was it kind of like a gradually over time you became more?
Gradually over time. Because like after 2009, I was just like blown away. Like I couldn't like think straight. So I was just wandering around, just meeting random people with no purposes, just drinking, going to clubs, just want for lust and pleasure, all of that.
So the first accident didn't really
didn't
change much. It just shook you.
Yeah, it shook me,
Okay.
and then just I was in depression, and then gradually got me recovered, and had another accident, and still gradually recovering. I had symptoms after the second car accident. My eyeballs, they were like ticking.
Mm.
I don't know if you understand. So it'd be like,
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. Like it's shifting.
yeah. That was like one of my symptoms after the second accident. But thankfully, I recovered it. So
Mm.
thank God.
Yeah.
Still alive, being with JR.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you recovered and it turned out okay, and that you had this shift. I feel like that's very impactful to you,
Mhm.
having that motivation. So I guess I want to shift into now we're talking about faith a little bit. Is there anything that comes to mind as a fellow Christian? Any specific lessons, verses, messages, themes, a handful, or maybe some of your favorites that you like to reference or share, or that goes into your music? Okay, this Bible verse or this message from the Bible is what I like to put out there, right? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Yeah. I honestly just wanted to make it simple to have intimate time with God each day. That's it. Because each day we need to feed our spirit. That's what I believe. So, in order for us to feed our spirit, we need to be close with God with the words. So, actually spend at least 5 or 10 minutes each day to actually give it to God, to spend time, intimacy, to grow as a Christian, and not to just stay in the same place for years and years. Each day, intimate time. Boom, that's it. So, each day, intimacy is the most priority thing as a Christian that I can think of. Intimacy each day with God.
I like it. I want to take a step back really quick. I'm curious about your career aspirations. I know now you're very faith centered and that's where your music is heading. Do you have a vision or goals of where you want your career to be as of right now?
Just be able to release music, keep on releasing music to share the gospel and make people positive and not to be cynical. And just be thankful for what they have. That's the main message for my music.
That makes sense. So you just want your music to put out that message and to impact the world in that way.
Fame and money was the main priority of success. But as of now, not anymore. Like, honestly, I want to be healthier, like physically, spiritually, mentally. That's my definition as success.
So there's one thing that you mentioned, which was that you could have been an independent streamer on a Southeast Asian app, and then money management would have been a challenge. Could you elaborate on what this opportunity was?
Yeah, so one of my students from K-Pop Academy offered the job. So her friend was like the CEO of the Southeastern app, independent streaming app. I forgot the actual name. They used to call me Justin. So Justin, like, why don't you like just try out for this streamer thing? And I was like, okay. So we'll pay you all the money that comes in while you stream. And then we'll give you about $1,000 each month for you to stream. I was like, okay, whatever. That's a lot of money. Okay. So I started, but then she said, you got to have an audition. Like, you got to have an audition for about 10 minutes for the actual CEO to actually grant you to be the actual streamer. So I was like, okay, whatever. So just say hi to them and just dance for about a minute. Okay, I'll do it. So as soon as I turned on my stream, like 900 people came in instantly.
Wow.
And then they started just pouring money. I don't even know how much it was, but then they were
Yeah.
just pouring. So I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna be a streamer now. But then think of it, think of the time back then. I really wanted to be famous and like rich,
Yeah.
and just full of wealth. But then if I was continuing to be the streamer that I've been doing from the Southeastern app, I wouldn't be alive. Honestly, like that money and that much fame, I wasn't able to actually manage all the money and the fame. I would have been just doing drugs and just like lying on the streets or something. I don't know. That amount of money and the fame back then when I was 24,
Yeah.
I couldn't manage it.
Yeah. You weren't ready for it.
I wasn't ready
You were
for
in
it,
the right
man.
space to handle that.
Yeah, it was just like 900 people were just coming in like in 10 seconds. Like they were like pouring stars, or I don't even know how to calculate the money, but like
Yeah.
they were just pouring. I was like, thank you guys, thank you guys. I was just dancing. I was being a different person that was really high. I was like, thank you guys. But yeah.
So then that ended up not happening, but how did you get away from that opportunity?
So I said no.
Okay.
So I'm not going to stream. They actually said they wanted me to like stream each day, 2 weeks, a month.
Why did you say no?
Honestly, I wanted to say yes, but then a person that it was a producer, he said, "Don't do it, Justin. Like Koaga, don't do it." I was like, "Why, man? That much money, that fame?" And he's like, "No, don't do it." And I hated him back then, but now I thank him so much. He saved my life.
Why did he say that?
Oh, he said, "You're a musician, man.
Yeah.
Don't stream." I was like, back then, I don't know why he said it, but then you're a musician. Focus on music. Don't focus on fame and music. Just focus on music. I was like, okay, man. I'll say no. Then I said no to the CEO. And then thankfully now, if I think of it, it was
It was the right decision.
It was a right decision.
I see. So it was his advice was more just like you're going on the wrong direction if you're trying to do the streaming thing when he knows and you know that you were meant to do music and stuff, right?
Yeah. He actually wanted me to focus on music. Like streaming is really good. Nowadays, a lot of people want to stream. I honestly want to stream too.
Right.
But then as a musician, focus on music and don't focus on wealth and fame. Just focus on music. That's why he actually wanted me to say no.
Is there a future where you might go into streaming, and how so?
I really want to. I still want to.
Why not? What's stopping you?
Nothing's stopping me, but
it doesn't feel right timing.
I'm still waiting for the camera team for me to actually work together with. When I go back to Korea, I have a meeting with them to actually film my music video that's gonna come out. So I gotta film music videos, but they actually like stream too. So I gotta have a meeting with them.
So you have things lined up and maybe in the future.
Yep.
I like it. Another question I had for you is, do you have any role models or people that you look up to and why?
Look up to. In music, I respect Jay Park. He raps, he sings, he works out, he runs several entertainments. He's like K-pop idol for a lot of Korean artists to look up to. I still respect him. I was in his concert, and while he was performing, one of his like performance, like the entrance was he chained his ankle.
Yeah.
And then he was coming down from the ceiling upside down. He was rapping.
Okay.
I was like, whoa, who mentioned that kind of like creativity and content and the entrance? So Jay Park's one of my like look up to. I go into a church in city called Sinchon, and my pastor and how he lives up his life, I kind of look up to him because every single day he prays, every single day he comes to the church and shares time with God. And that kind of life, spiritual life, I look up to too. Like musical life and spiritual life.
I feel like that is a good cross section of like who you are, right? It's like the music and then the faith. So I want to shift now and ask about your experience growing up in the US, as you mentioned that in the pre-show form. But you mentioned, and I'm quoting, experience during elementary school days as a fob. So could you clarify or walk us through that experience?
To make it short, during lunchtime, my mom made me Korean food. Obviously, rice with kimchi. It smells. Honestly, it does smell. But then, like friends, I was in third grade, so we're just like nosy. We're very talkative. And then while I opened my lunchbox, they were like laughing at me, like, why do you eat those kind of food? And they were having like peanut butter jelly and all those the crackers and all that stuff. And then some of my friends, some of them were white, some of them were they were Korean too, like second gen Koreans, and like white guys were just like they're just laughing at me how I pronounce English. So I couldn't my pronunciation wasn't like fluent enough. So how I talk, how I brought my food, those kind of days were how I felt as a fob.
Yeah.
How I dress. I used to dress like a Korean guy, like just fresh off the boat Korean guy. My hair.
Yeah.
So all of that stuff. But then not only me, but a lot of people, I guess, would have experienced those kind of things back days.
But was there anything that you learned or reflected from or changed from that experience? What did you learn about yourself, or any breakthroughs that you're like, okay, this is tough, but here's what I learned?
That was like when I was in second or third grade.
Yeah.
So I stayed in the States for about 5 more years. So I actually grew in LA. So I that's how I became. I got blended into LA culture, to black music and hip hop culture, and how I dress like my friends who are like second generation. I started to become like them. How I eat like tacos and burritos like them. So that's how I grew and started to get over being a fob
Yeah,
and
being like different,
yeah, different.
standing out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I started blending in as an elementary kid.
So then now moving back after high schoolish or something.
Yeah.
So then how was that? Was it like the same thing, just opposite? Now like you stood out in the Korean.
So when I started to blend in, I went back to Korea.
Yeah.
So like I said, when I was in 7th grade, so I came to the States when I was in 2nd grade. I went back to Korea when I was in 7th grade. So like I said, I wore Echo United, Sean John, and just Cortez
Yeah.
kicks on my feet. I went back to Korea and nobody was dressing like me. So I had that time for me to actually blend into Korea again.
Right.
That all of them were wearing skinny jeans and Converse. So I had a hard time to find my identity in Korea, in USA.
So now you move back to the States,
Yeah.
right, for after university and whatnot. So then at that point, were you already set in your identity, or was there more changing that still happened?
So I went to Korea when I was 14, stayed there until 20. So I blended in Korea. And then I came back to the States when I was 20. I still had a hard time to actually blend in again to the States. So yeah, spent 10 years. As of now, just Korean American.
Yeah.
Koaga, just doing music and believe in God. That's my identity.
So now my question is advice, right? Maybe most people stay in one spot. Some people like you, maybe they jump around and stuff. Do you have any advice for people who maybe struggle with similar things of they feel like they don't fit in, or they have to assimilate and they move around, they kind of stand out? Any insights that helped you to adjust to those changing periods?
What you said right now kind of relates me to dance. Nobody wants to come out from the comfort zone, but actually like it is really good for you to actually come out of it, as of dancing, as of life, as of culture, just and food, trying like new food and trying to go new places when can't communicate.
Yeah.
But just challenging new things ultimately I think is a positive result for me to actually experience. Just coming out of the comfort zone.
So is that something that you, from the beginning when you were young, you just, okay, I have to be, I'm uncomfortable and I'm outside my comfort zone a lot? Or is it something that you gradually built towards so that now you're like, yeah, I'm more comfortable?
Honestly, when I was a teenager, I really didn't want to go to Korea when I was in the States. When I was in Korea, I didn't want to go to the US. Cause I didn't want to go. Like, I just want to be in a comfortable.
You're used to it.
Yeah, I'm used to it and I belong here. But then come to think of it, it was a good experience for me to go back and forth and to learn and meet new friends, new people, and accept new culture. And that's how I became now.
It's like we're a product of our different experiences, and you have such a unique experience going back and forth to have a good perspective of a wide perspective of both cultures, jumping back and forth. I want to ask for the last question in this section is, are there some things about the US that you haven't gotten used to, or things from Korean culture that you haven't gotten used to, or some things that I know you're kind of in between, but are there things that are like, oh, this is kind of weird here, but this is kind of weird here?
Two different things, well, one different thing in Korea, and that's different about LA is that in LA, a lot of people when they like meet each other, like their eyes, they when they look at each other, they smile.
Mm.
In a cafe, like they hold the door for the next person behind you. They're with manners, like they like greet each other. But in Korea, they're very like individualistic. They don't even like look at you,
Mm.
like riding on the bus, like subway. But those are the two different cultures
Yeah.
in Korea and in the States. So I'm not saying what's bad or what's
course.
good, but it is what it is. But I got to experience Korean culture and American culture to know why they're doing it. So American people, they're very happy. They greet each other. In Korean people, they were just busy with their own things. But it is what it is. So Korean people and American people, the cultures. I know both of them. It's a great thing to know a lot of cultures.
Yeah, yeah. Understanding the nuance of each culture. Like
Mm.
just because someone doesn't talk to you doesn't mean like they hate you or
Yeah,
anything,
they don't
right?
hate you.
And the same thing is just because someone says hi or they smile at you does not necessarily mean they're your friend. So that's like right. It's just understanding. I
Yeah.
get that. Is there anything that you feel like we've left out? Otherwise, I'll switch over to rapid fire questions.
Rapid fire questions.
Yeah, you
okay,
ready?
right now.
Cool. All right. So we'll go into it. You've seen the questions already, but we'll go through. First one is the billboard question. So if you could put up a sign for millions of people to see, what would it say?
Just stay positive, and just being positive is short amount of time in life. So why negative? Be positive.
What is one of the hardest challenges you faced and what did you learn from it?
I had 2 car accidents. I had a hard time, but I lived through it. Life is great. Just be positive.
If you could redo one thing, what would you do differently? Not like regrets, but more just, oh, it'd be interesting if I tried that. Tried that instead.
I get you. I should have spent more time grinding my talent. Yeah, I spent more time drinking and just hindering around. If I had to tell my younger self, I would have tell him to spend more time in the studio,
So specifically music.
music, dancing, practicing, just making music.
What is one piece of advice that has impacted you the most?
Living life sometimes can be weary, sometimes can be alone, but you're not alone. You're a person who's being loved, and you are a person who are made in an image of God. So you are valuable. So don't put yourself in a place where full of depression and unworthy, but you are valuable and precious. So be positive and thankful for what you have.
Some of these we already covered, but what is something that separates the younger version of you from the current version of you if we didn't already talk about it?
Back then, I used to think being famous was the most priority thing I wanted to be. Like I said, like fame. I really want to be famous and being wealthy. But now I'm very thankful for what I have as of now. So that's the difference between the younger self and of me. Being alive in a healthy physical shape and able to talk properly and to see and smell and hear and drive.
It's the little things that we take for granted. Right?
Yes. We got to think of it each day and to actually give thanks to God. Yeah. Don't forget it.
A quick aside, I have a lot of friends who I'm not trying to judge anyone, right? But they really hate having to walk somewhere, like parking too far or, oh, I don't want to go upstairs. And I like this example because I'm always like, you do know you have legs and you do know that a lot of people can't walk. So why don't you just walk with gratitude and it'll feel better and it's healthy for you, all that other stuff. But it's, you have working legs. And maybe if that shift changes your perspective, you might actually not care about how far you park. And then it might make your day a little bit better rather than complaining about, oh, there's a far walk or something. So
Like people like us, like we really want to be like complaining of what we don't have and what we have to do. But if we just change the thoughts, just shift it around and say, I have 2 legs to walk towards the building. I have my eyes to actually see while I'm driving. Just being thankful, It starts with small things.
yeah. It's like, how can you ask for something more when you're not even grateful for what you have right now? And like you said, what we have right now is kind of the biggest thing. It's the most important thing, like our health, our family, relationships, being alive. And how can you wish for fame and money and wealth if you don't even care that you're healthy, right? I like that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
These are the consumerism questions. But do you have a favorite recent purchase that's relatively cheap? So maybe $50 to $100, something like that that has impacted your life the most in the last 6 months?
I invest in music, so I can't produce by myself. I can't write by myself. I can't release by myself. So I actually need money to invest for my song to be released, for my song to be formed, to be mixed and mastered and produced. So the money that I put in to make music and release music,
So just investing into your music.
music.
I like it. Okay, last rapid fire questions. But do you have any favorite books, movies, media, shows, or anything you share or recommend the most?
Nowadays, I listen to modern worship, like from Elevation Music, Bethel Music, Hillsong Music, and yeah, those music, especially Hillsong Oceans. Man, try that song.
The song's called Oceans.
Oceans.
Okay.
From Hillsong.
Yeah, I'll link it.
That song will give you comfort and to just feel warmth. Try it out.
Cool. All right. So as we wrap up, I will ask any questions, but we do have a special performance. Koaga is going to do a little performance for one of his songs. So it's going to be super exciting. Our first live performance on the show.
Yes, sir.
But we'll wrap it up first. So shout out to my mom. We always end with gratitude. So Koaga, what are you grateful for?
Oh, thanks to God, thanks to my family for being here, and thanks for JR for me to actually be in a great place with Solomon. And I hope all we be safe and sound and just be grateful in our lives. Yes, sir.
Love it. Cool. Do you have any final ask from the audience? Anything you want to ask them or any final takeaways you want them to have from our conversation?
Through my Instagram, you can see the new tunes will be coming out, the videos will be coming out, and hope to get positive energies from it. Yeah, that's about it.
And I will link Koaga's socials and his links in the show description. So you guys will have that. Check it out in the description below. But otherwise, Koaga, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate your candor, your story, and the vibes. Immaculate.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm glad to have you on the show. So I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Cool. All right. So I will sign off for the audience and then we'll have the performance after this cut. But thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, leave Koaga love in the comments below. Leave 5 stars wherever you're listening to this. It really helps the show. And then final reminder to be kind to other people, especially yourself. And remember that you can always learn something from someone if you take the time to listen. So thank you guys for being here.
Shout out to JR and Solomon. Great to be here. 하늘의 별과 다른 너와 나를 위해 가만히 있어 girl, give my all for you to shine. 연락 오는 남자들도 많겠지만 좋다는 고백도 수두룩해. 하지만 you girl, 나는 달라. Smile on your face, I'll take that every day. I'll take that every day. Dance with you, lady, I get high all the way. Oh, 이 노래 듣고 너만 좋으면 돼. 밤마다 달 보면 날 찾게 돼. 몸풀 때마다 생각해야 돼. Oh lady, don't you say no. Oh baby, don't you say no. Oh girl, my feelings for you. 아침에 눈 뜰 때마다 생각나. Oh baby, don't you say no. Oh lady, don't you say no. 널 찾은 걸 감사해. 널 조금씩 허락해줘. Come on girl, let me hear you say it. I wanna hear ya, I wanna hear ya. Know you want good vibe, you ready? Vibe of me, you and me, girl. Shout out to 1000 Girls, hosted by JR.